So were you guys based out in London for a while?
Well, it's because Jive was based in London, so we would record over in London at Battery Studios in the Wilson Green section. And then it's usually I'd end up staying there, or pretty much everybody else go in there and get it done and leave. And then I'd stay through mixing and stuff like that.
Yeah. And how did you feel about New Jack Swing Productions? How did that come about? And
well, I was in 94. I was coming out of a bank in Philly, North Philly. I had gotten shot, robbed and shot. I was in the hospital for about a year and a half.
Damn.
This would more or less be the second coming of it, because we didn't have a title in New Jack Swing. We just called it cheating. Jay Griffin, who was old manager, he came in and kind of just sucked up the whole thing and made that happen. Because he got us to respect that we weren't getting on his own. But after I got out of the hospital, you know, Teddy had given me a call and was like, well, why don't you come down to Virginia and just kind of hang out for a while? So I went down to Virginia. We were getting ready to do Blackstreet Another Level. But he had a lot of producers down there, but they weren't doing any outside work. So there was a guy, one of the producers named Spragg Williams. Spragg came to me and he's like, well, I want you to manage me. So we sat down with Teddy. Teddy was like, well, why don't you do it for all of us? Because he never would go out and solicit work. So we started going out soliciting work. Our first year in business, we did like $1.7 million. And under that was Pharrell, Bink Dog. We did a lot of Jay-Z, Pharrell and Chad. They were under the label. We got a lot of good A-list producers.
Yeah. What are your plans this week with VH1 Hip Hop Honors and stuff?
Well, just gonna kind of go there. And, you know, it's like a class reunion. You see everybody and like wonder, when did everyone get so old?
Yeah.
You know, Mo's actually performing, so that'll be good.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Does he perform much?
He's actually been doing a lot this year. There's a lot going to happen. Yeah. I think the timing is just right. I mean, the industry has created such a hole that is, you know, people are just waiting for something different. And still, I think the biggest segment that's ignored in the record business is the hip-hop guy that's 40 years old, 35. There's a thing called contemporary hip-hop, if I could be so cruel.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's, you know, it's been around enough to go.
So what are your thoughts on the current form of R&B and hip-hop, urban music today? How do you feel about it?
Well, let me say this. I understand where it comes from, and I understand the market. I have a lot of it in my car, mainly because I have a 16-year-old daughter, and some of the grooves are really high. But I think as far as substance, and not necessarily that, I don't think there's a choice. And that's why you see a guy like Kanye West will outsell a 50 Cent. Thank God this shit is past. You know, yeah. It's like, aim so much, I got money, I can shoot you, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, I think there's a definite, conscious shift. But now the whole thing is now radio has to recognize that, the labels have to recognize that, and say like a guy like Common, a guy like Khaled, you know, it's time for them to be relevant. And that comes behind what's pushed. People basically take what's offered.
Fair enough, that's a very clear view there. Are you still in touch with Teddy? Anybody from those back in the old days?
I talk to Dougie pretty much every day. We're like brothers. Dougie Fresh. Teddy I spoke to about 2 weeks ago. You know, we mainly speak, you know, by, you know, it's just so, right now I kind of had to pull back from everybody because, like I said, we were doing a Pacino film, which took a lot of attention away. And yeah. My financial business, it's like the deal that I'm involved in right now is very, very, very deep in detail. We're putting governments together, which is always problematic. You know, so I've been kind of focused on that. So I haven't recently spoken to him, but you know, there's still love there.
Yeah. We were speaking to Deezer a few weeks back, and he says he's got a lot of love for you.
Deezer was one of the producers in a group called 911. One of the greatest voices of that time.
Yeah.
Great. He was in Basic Black.
Yeah.
He also had a song that Teddy and them did on a Blackstreet album, but you haven't heard the song until you hear Deezer sing it. And next time you talk to him, tell him to play You Misery. You tell him I told you to play You Misery.
Yeah, definitely.
Best vocal performance I've ever heard.
It's a shame that album never came out though.
An absolute shame.
It's one of the biggest travesties of the New Jack era, I think. That album not coming out.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. He's a hell of a talent, an excellent writer, and a hell of a voice. Justin Timberlake also.
Yeah.
So I took her with her.
Definitely. Is there anything you want to say to your fans on NJS4E moving forward? The past?
The past is nothing but a reflection of the future. It's a circle and it goes round and round and round and round. So what's old is new. It's just that simple.
So we'll be seeing more of you in the future then?
Oh, absolutely. But now what's great about the industry is you have the internet. You can broadcast. You can have your internet broadcasting station. The world has got just a little bit smaller, so all it takes is a little entrepreneurial spirit. You know, I mean, this is like 1950, where black music was ignored, and so they started putting out their own music. Record companies are in flux, and they don't know what to do with it. They panicking. So now's the time. It's like you take it, you make your own radio station, you make your own record company, and you go for it. So you're going to see a lot happening.
Yeah. Lavaba, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us. We will be in touch, and all the best for the future.
Thank you for coming.
Cheers.
Cheers.